everybody. Thank you for tuning in to the official second episode of the SheAttack.com podcast. Today we have Shar,
Hey.
Erica,
Hey, everybody.
Emerald,
Hey.
and of course myself, Nia. Emerald hasn't been on these podcasts before, so I'm going to take a short moment to let her introduce herself. Go ahead, Emerald.
My own music. Anyway, my name's Emerald. I'm by the name of M. I am the RPG junkie. I play the RPGs, the old games. Yes, I'm a retro gamer, and I don't have all the fancy systems like you all do. So, 360, and yes, I still play Call of Duty Black Ops 2. Still not a fan of it though, but hey. And just the classics, like Earthbound, like Nia likes to play. Let's see. I don't know any of the old games that you can think of I play, and I also like to watch the gaming personalities out there, the big ones, play their games on YouTube, if that counts.
So that's what you like to do in your spare time.
Oh yeah,
Like whenever you can't play, you just watch somebody else play.
I watched 3 different gamers play Outlast.
Wow.
But and I get scared every single time. It never
Wow.
it doesn't matter. But until I, can afford to get the games that I would like to get again, I will be watching people play via YouTube and playing their eyes.
Okay, so now we're gonna go ahead and get into what we've been playing. Shar, what have you been playing?
I've been playing Terraria with the God of Muggles from my IGN. And we are building this fucking awesome. We're on like his server, and we're building Boltania, named after Michael Bolton because he is the best.
You guys are so stupid with that.
Nice.
Like, you guys are so stupid for real.
It's so much fun though.
Michael Bolton.
Like, for some reason, like, people
Don't even.
IG, they have the most random obsessions with things.
If you have ever been to a stream with Game Guy Anthony, we play a lot of Michael Bolton and Phil Collins. So
Oh, shoot.
So, Erica, what have you been playing?
Oh, man, I've been all over the place. I was playing the Last of Us DLC, which is called Left Behind. Finished that. I played the Titanfall beta. I've been playing Last of Us multiplayer. And also this other beta that's for the 360 called Warface, which is FPS shooter. It's Warface. Yeah, it's interesting. I mean, it's a beta game, but other than that, I mean, here and there on the 3DS, but I've just been kind of all over the place, checking everything out as much as I can.
Well, I guess it's my turn. I have been playing this thing called Work and Sleep.
sounds like a vlog.
In between that time, I've been going so super extra ham on Earthbound. Like, I've never played. Like, I was unfortunately poor when I was a child, so there's a lot of games I didn't get to play. That being one of them. So
You know, I haven't played that either.
Oh my god.
I haven't played it. I haven't gotten. I'm RPG gamer. I haven't gotten to it.
Yes.
It's fucking weird.
Like, okay, like when I first started playing Earthbound, like this of course is my first playthrough. I was like, okay, well, it's really, really cool. It's nothing to really, holler about, because everybody is like obsessed with Earthbound. And then like I started playing it a little bit more, and I was like, you know what, this game is tight. And like y'all already know, like I am like the queen of ADD. It takes like a whole lot for me to be interested in something like RPGs, especially something turn-based. And then like if y'all ever play Earthbound, like you don't really actually see Ness and his team interact with the AI. So it's all like text. Like, and if that can capture my attention, then it must be a good game. But Emerald, I know you just gave like your brief introduction and stuff like that, but what have you been playing lately? Since you are the retro game queen.
Illusions of Gaia on my PSP. I've been playing. Don't judge me for this, but I wrote about this and I told you guys. I am addicted to Flappy Bird, and I can't.
Oh,
that
my
was a
God.
really good article too.
My mom's like, why don't you, I heard people are selling their stuff because they got Flappy Bird on it, they're selling it on it. And I just was like, I can't part from the Flappy Bird. And then I found something like it, and it's called Clumsy Birds. And now I'm addicted.
Oh my God.
Oh, no.
They're getting me, man. They're getting me. They're like crack. That's all I have to say.
Wow.
Damn.
I know it's shameful. How is that? How you get addicted to something like that? I just went back to my Xbox 360. It was resting there for a couple months. Went back to my Call of Duty and my Dead Space 3. I'm, just stuck in the last generation,
All right. First, we're going to start talking about some topics that I hate to say this, guys, but it does have something to do with girls. I know gamers get weird every time we talk about topics that are related to females and gaming and everything like that. But the first topic that I want to brush on is the fact that upcoming RPG Deep Down, which is, I think it's a PlayStation 4 exclusive made by Square Enix, is not going to feature female characters due to the story elements. And I guess first I'll go ahead and kind of speak my piece on it. Based on what I've read, and I'm reading this from the article from Polygon, and really the only reason that they gave for not featuring a female character is because it really doesn't fit in with the story. Usually I would feel a certain type of way about things like that, but honestly, as far as I can say or tell, if the game is kind of based around a particular character or set of characters, I don't really think that it's okay to kind of berate or kind of make the developers feel bad about their quote-unquote artistic vision. But as far as that, I mean, I really don't know how to feel about that. What about you, Shar? How do you feel about this?
I feel like I need more information about this shit.
Right.
Because just saying, narrative reasons isn't really enough, and the internet's kind of taking that personally. But at the same time, I also think it's total bullshit, because even if you I don't know if they're saying just playable. They're just saying playable, right?
As far as the article states, it says playable.
Yeah, so there's going to be, I would assume, there's going to be women characters in it. Hopefully, NPCs maybe.
Right.
But I was just hearing it right off the bat is just kind of why wouldn't you? Because it's and there's all these reasons out there too. They're floating around. They're oh well, it takes more money to fucking program and make the model for a female character. I'm
Are you
bullshit, man. You can take a fucking male model and just put boobs on that shit and make it, just more feminine. It takes maybe 10 minutes for a person to change a model in a computer from a male to a female body.
Right.
So there's all these reasons. They're oh, it might take more money, and I'm no, it fucking doesn't take more money. It takes more time and money, maybe 10 minutes. But other than that, I don't know. Story elements, sure, whatever. We'll see, I guess.
Right. It's kind of one of those things you just kind of have to see the direction of the story or what's going on and stuff. But how do you feel about that, Erica?
Honestly, it doesn't bother me too much. I'm kind of neutral on it, but if what Shar is saying is true, that they're saying it takes more money, like as if it's like real boobs, like $5,000 a boob or something. Then that's, yeah, I'm calling BS on that. But if that's not the case and it's just really for story reasons, then I don't really have a problem with it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm pretty neutral on
Right.
it. I mean, I'm used to playing as guy characters. It doesn't really
Yeah.
bother me.
True.
Right.
Yeah.
What about you, Emerald? How you feel?
Well, it's kind of disappointing to me because I don't know if you guys remember, I wrote an article about this game. Like, check it out, everybody.
Right.
If there's no female characters, it's kind of like, yeah, I see both sides of, okay, the story elements. It goes back to it's a game in the future. I forgot where it is in the future, and then it goes back to those 4 characters go back in time, or in medieval style, fight dragons and all this stuff. So I was just thinking, like, if it was futuristic, why can't it have female characters in it?
See,
And
that's what I was thinking.
Right.
yeah,
True.
I mean, that's kind of weird because it's not like the game is way back in the day. It's just that they go back. Some kind of way they end up back in that time. And I
Right.
think a female character in this would have been pretty interesting. Like, I can accept, okay, there's no female characters, but I don't know. I was kind of envisioning, if you guys start laughing, like, you know, Dead Island or all the games, they always have that one female character. I was
Right.
hoping they would do this with medieval times. I think that would have been pretty tight. But,
Right.
I can accept if that's their. I don't really know the reasoning, but if that is to where they're like, it's harder to make a female character. I don't even know. That doesn't make any sense.
I don't think so.
Yeah.
That's a bad.
Yeah, I'm not really sure about that whole thing. If it was because of the resources, then that's bullcrap. But if that's like legit what they want to do, artistic freedom, all that kind of good stuff, then whatever. Like Shar was saying earlier, I mean, we kind of really don't know enough about the situation to kind of say what's going on. But to kind of segue into another topic related to women in gaming, there was an issue, not really an issue, but you know, the community always kind of makes these kind of things an issue, where Nintendo and the Nintendo UK have created a YouTube channel specifically targeting young girls, and I'm thinking that this channel was made specifically to cater to maybe 8-year-old girls and under, or maybe around that preteen and under range or whatever. So basically, the intro video of the Nintendo UK Nintendo Girls Club was, you know, this teen. I guess she looks like she's about a teenaged girl, talking about, you know, that is basically the hub or the place where girls can go to get information about what Nintendo games are coming out and things like that. And when I saw that, like, I was kind of like, no. I'm not gonna lie. Like, I mean, I'm not one of those kind of people that were just like up in arms, like, oh my god, this is so sexist. I mean, I don't think that it was sexist per se, but it was extremely stereotypical. And but to me, the saving grace for the type of games that they showed, it wasn't like they showed like Barbie's Dream House or something. I mean, they showed like the regular games that anybody would play on like the 3DS and stuff like that. But just the kind of the way that they went about it, the way that they kind of marketed it, was kind of like it was kind of like an exclusive type of thing instead of an inclusive type of thing. And I feel that if you legit, in my opinion, I mean, I'm not a marketing person or anything like that, but I feel like if you want to go after the female crowd, if you want to go after the girl crowd, then you pretty much make your product inclusive to where that girls feel like they could be a part of this thing as well as guys, and not really segregate them, because I feel that when you segregate a market, you're kind of limiting that market. Because think about it, like if there's Nintendo Girls Club, and then there's just the regular Nintendo page where it's about everybody, and then dudes, then on the girl side, obviously that part's not going to get that much support because the type of things that they're going to be marketing to that crowd are going to be kind of limited. And that's kind of really my issue with it, but I'm rambling, so I'm going to go ahead and pass the ball to Shar.
So, I don't know. Obviously, just talked about this like 10 minutes ago. So, like, I don't know how to feel about it because I feel sad because I feel it's like, why did they feel the need to do it? Like, I'm kind of confused with like why the reasoning of like, oh, we need to market and have a specific Nintendo club just for girls. It's kind of like having a clubhouse and it's a Nintendo clubhouse and everyone just hangs out there, and then a bunch of girls get together and they're like, no, you know what, we want our own clubhouse, and they go to a different tree and they're like, girls only, you know. And it's like, that's what I'm kind of getting from this. And like, I don't know, just obviously it's trying to be marketing and all that kind of stuff, but it's like, it's kind of sad that we've gotten to the point where girls have to be segregated like that in gaming and they can't go and find out their own news for themselves like I do every day. Go to like 5 sites just to see news about games. Like, that's what I do. And it's just like, I don't know, it's just kind of weird to me.
What do you feel about that, Erica?
When I first saw the video, I honestly didn't know how to feel. I just sort of laughed about it and figured it was targeted to young girls. But then I think the part that really stuck out to people and that's bothering women, especially in that comment section of that page, is the part where the girl's like, yeah, now we have our own place to kind of share our ideas and show the games we love, when really they should be included with the guys. You know, we should all be gamers, not just girl gamers or guy gamers. So it's kind of like Shar was saying, it's kind of segregating the women unintentionally. I can't talk, but that's kind of what it's doing. So I think that's really the part that kind of stuck out to people, and that's kind of bothering people. I myself personally, I just kind of laughed about it, shrugged it off, because as an adult gamer, that does not appeal to me. It's the same as if it was a teenage boy on there saying, you know, now we have a place to, you know, talk about games, and I would think of it as a teenage boy thing. So it's kind of like the same thing. It's more about younger gamers versus adult gamers. Obviously, we're not going to find interest in it.
Right.
Yeah, so that's pretty much what I feel about it.
Emerald?
I don't know, like,
Uh-oh.
Some background noise.
Yeah, there's some connection issues, I think.
Okay. Are we good now?
Yeah, I hear you now.
I hear something in the background though. I don't know what that is. But I don't know. I don't feel anything about this because it just sounds like something that's already been done, but let's put a label on it. I mean, you kind of already have that group in there of girl gamers that segregate themselves, but I don't know. I don't feel anything about it. I just feel like somebody did it and put it on. It was like, yeah, let's have a clubhouse. Let's have a club.
Right.
They want, but I don't know. I'm kind of indifferent. I guess I feel more.
Right. Okay. So the next topic we're going to talk about are everybody's favorite topic, console sales. Yay!
Yay! What matters most?
Yeah. So as far as 8th generation systems, according to VG charts, they are as follows. The Wii U is at 5.7 million worldwide. The Xbox One is at 3.4 million worldwide, and the PS4 is at 5.2 million worldwide. Yeah. And here's the problem. The Xbox One and the PlayStation 4 came out in November. The Wii U came out last November. How do we feel about this, ladies?
How do we feel? Well, obviously we're rooting for all of our favorite systems.
We want them all to win, all to
Well,
succeed.
we want them all to win, yeah, I guess.
Right.
Oh,
Perhaps Sony knocked everybody out the water.
Like, listen, this is what I'm gonna say right now. Y'all know, like, I am like the official like Nintendo girl of the group.
Oh, really?
But
I didn't know.
really?
You don't say.
But one thing that I could honestly say, based on this information, is that Sony came into the A generation throwing bows. They wasn't playing no games. The hype train was live, and we have what we see before us today.
Indeed.
And to be completely honest, completely real, just me speaking as a gamer, no preferences or anything. I mean, like, don't get me wrong, I'm a Nintendo gamer, but first and foremost, I'm a gamer, and I try my very best to be as objective as possible. I am very, 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 very proud of Sony. They corrected pretty much every mistake that they made with the PS3 when the PS3 came out of the gate. They listened to their fans, they listened to the developers, and they are reaping the benefits. And I think that is definitely something that kind of put them in their position because of obviously the Xbox One. I mean, no hate or disrespect to the Xbox One. I don't have one, so I can't really comment on it. Microsoft kind of put themselves in a positions where they're unfavorable because of all of the situation with the DRM and stuff like that, and then them having to kind of backtrack and kind of start all over with the Xbox One, which kind of is showing, and we're going to talk about that later. We're going to get on that later, okay? And as far as Sony, they did everything right. I think that Nintendo they're definitely struggling right now. And so far, Sony, the PS4 is definitely the console. It's basically the console to beat this generation. It's having a very strong start. And here's to a strong finish for not only Sony, but for all of the big three, because as a fan of gaming, I want to see them all succeed. So, how do y'all feel about that?
You know what the craziest thing about these numbers is that it hasn't even released in Japan yet. The
Exactly.
PS4.
Exactly. Like, what's going to happen when it comes out in Japan? Like, it's over. I mean, it's
over.
already over.
I don't feel like it'll do that much. I mean, oh my god, it's so expensive to buy a console in Japan. Like, have you seen that shit? It's like insane.
Right.
So I mean, they're obviously gonna sell, but I don't know. And it'll probably like push it over the Wii U, but I wouldn't expect it to really sell over. I don't know.
Right. I mean,
I don't know numbers.
Right. I mean, I know that in Japan they're usually handheld people, but as far as consoles, I think their Sony consoles are pretty favorable over there too.
Yeah.
But did anybody else want to chime in or kind of give thoughts? Or I know, like, really the only people who follow these kinds of things is probably like me and Erica because we kind of like follow news and stuff. But
it's all about the numbers. Checking those numbers every day.
Oh my god.
Every day.
Right. Well,
I don't know.
I mean, I don't know if there's much to say about it. I think it says more for Sony than Nintendo, these numbers. Sony is just dominating. I mean,
they're definitely doing everything right this generation, and I'm definitely happy for that. I mean, because to be honest, like, Sony, like, they kind of have no choice but to do well because of how many struggles they had with the PS3 and how much money that they lost with the PS3, and they're definitely showing to everybody that, you know, they're serious this time, and that's good for them. I hope that they earn back what they've lost, or at least get back to a point where, you know, they're back on good financial ground, I guess I could say. So.
Well said. Agreed.
So the next topic we're going to be talking about is the Titanfall beta. I think I'm going to go ahead and give Erica the reins because she's actually played the beta. Erica, how do you feel about it?
There's so much to say. I don't know where to start. Well, I made a video about it, my first impressions, and the first thing that really came to mind after a couple of matches was really the bots, and that was kind of my biggest concern going in. And a lot of people are saying not to be too concerned with it because they're there for a reason. You know, they're there to get, not necessarily a kill streak, but they're there to get your points quicker in order to call in your Titan. So I understand why they're there. But for me personally, I'm a competitive person, and it kind of ruins my experience. But besides that, the game is good. I mean, I'm not saying it's a bad game. It's really fun. It keeps my attention. There's a lot of action going on. There's a skill gap that I think is going to be noticeable in the months to come when it actually releases, because when you look at all the wall bouncing, wall jumping, and all that, there's a lot of kind of skill that goes into that. And people aren't really looking at that right now. They're looking at it like it's Call of Duty with mechs,
Right.
but really it's its own game, and I think that will start to show at launch. But for right now, everybody's just going to kind of think that it's Call of Duty with mechs. But I think there's more to it. We just have to wait and see. I've seen some crazy wall jumping and running, and I'm just like amazed at how good people are getting at it. So I think we just have to kind of wait and see where this game goes. For now, I'll just leave it as that. I mean, it's a good game, but it's not the most amazing thing ever, but it is good.
Right. I know based on the things that I've seen of it, it's definitely not Call of Duty with mix. Like just from looking at it from a visual standpoint, because I mean that's pretty much all I've got since I haven't had a chance to play it. It looks like it has potential, and hopefully, excuse me, any of the bugs or the gripes or the kinks or anything that they have during the beta will be corrected, you know, in the final version. I've heard people say otherwise about the bots, though, saying that the bots really aren't so bad. But I mean, I can't really say because I haven't played it. But overall, I think that Titanfall has a good chance of doing well. But because of the bots and how everybody kind of feel about it, I kind of wonder how active the community for Titanfall is going to be, or how long that community is going to last, I guess. I mean, and considering that it's a multiplayer focused game, I mean, that's kind of something that kind of concerns me.
Right. Because you're thinking maybe a lot of people who are playing Titanfall love Call of Duty, and then once the new Call of Duty comes out, how is it going to stand against it, you know?
I mean, it's not even just compared to Call of Duty, though. Like, how's it going to stand on its own if it kind of falls flat in that competitive aspect? Because, you know, like you said in your video, you know, you're a competitive person and you feel like Titanfall is a good game so far, but it kind of doesn't feed your appetite for your competitive play. And a lot of people, no matter how much they hate Call of Duty, they still play the multiplayer because of how competitive it is. They want to shoot people in the face. They want to dominate. And if Titanfall doesn't deliver that to a lot of people, I just can't see the community lasting for very long until people migrate and move on to something else.
I feel like the bots even up the playing field, though, and that's probably what people don't like about it.
You think so? That's interesting.
Well, just like hearing you guys talk about it and thinking on it just now is like, well, the bots are there for you to get points for your Titan, yeah? So, like, if you're not a very good player and you're just like, oh, I'm playing this with my friends, whatever, you don't have to be a hardcore gamer, whatever you want to call yourself. So you could just, like, you could run around and literally kill bots the entire time, get a Titan, maybe kill some more people, and play it that way. And still be playing with friends, maybe getting a kill on another player here and there. So it really, I feel like it evens out the playing field from, like, for hardcore people who are like, Call of Duty awesomeness and, like, everything. So they just go in and they, like, dominate that way. And then there's other people who are like me who would probably go in there and kill whatever I could because I'm not that good of a FPS person. So, I don't know, maybe it's kind of, that's what they're going for, is, like, aiming at a wider audience, maybe?
Like more of a casual audience. A little bit, yeah. No, I agree. That's probably the main intention of that, is just to give everybody something to kill and not feel so stressed out and like die every 2 seconds. And I could see that. I could see why they did that.
Calming down the idiots who are like, why didn't you kill anything?
And see, the thing that I have with that, like, while I understand where you're coming from, Shars, like, I remember back in the day, man, like, games were hard as hell. And the only thing you could do was get better. I mean, like, I'm not an FPS person. I'm not a competitive person by any means. But I understand that if a game is hard, I mean, if it's not, like, hard like where it's like intentionally hard, where the developers just want to give you a hard time just because they're being assholes. Like you just played it more and you got better.
Mhm,
But
it's
how
very
many
satisfying.
gamers did you
Right.
know? Yeah, how many casual people were there in that day? Huh? None. That's right.
I mean, that's true. The casual audience has grown exponentially, but it's like,
No, I'm with Nia on that. I'm with you on that. Because I think that's why I'm not so crazy about Titanfall, is because I love that challenge. I love getting better at games, and I want to have my butt kicked at the beginning. I honestly do, because I want to get better. And Titanfall, it's like you're already good because, you know, you're getting these
you
bot
have
kills.
bots.
Yeah, and you're doing all this stuff. There's really not much of a challenge.
Right.
But we'll see, you know.
Yeah. What about you, Emerald? Do you have any thoughts at all about this?
I don't know. I think hearing it, because I know when I first started a game, I really sucked. So something like that is kind of exciting to hear, because you don't have to hear people call you noobs and stuff like that. I mean, and it's also good for training, probably.
Mm.
I just say that when it comes out and everybody finally plays it, that's when we'll get the true answer then, because maybe it's twice as hard with the bots. I don't know.
Right.
I don't know why they put them in there. I guess to make people like me feel better and give us confidence.
Okay.
Maybe. I don't know.
So the next topic we're going to talk about is, unfortunately, this is actually kind of sad for me to hear as well. Irrational Games, as we know it, that is, has officially shut down, or is shutting down, in the process of shutting down. And basically what's going on is that director of Irrational Games, Ken Levine, has expressed that he's going to be downsizing significantly, only leaving about 15 developers, and they're going to be working on smaller titles. So they're not gone for good. They're not vanished off the planet, but this is like a major downsizing just so they could work on other stuff. And I'm going to let Shar have the floor. Shar, go ahead and say your piece.
Okay, so what the fuck? Seriously, wasn't it like there's like 200 people in Irrational Games or something, and they're going
It
to
was quite a
15 or
few.
something? 15.
Like, yeah.
That's like, what is that? Like 2% of the people who are there are actually staying?
Yeah, they're basically indie now.
Like
15 is
oh,
nothing.
I'm sorry. If you just want to be indie, you just need 15 people. Whatever. I thought indie meant like you get a bunch of friends together and you're like, oh, I'm gonna make a game. It's not dispersing a whole huge like part of a company just to make indie game. Like I don't. It's like he wants to be cool, but he's going about it the wrong way.
He's trying to be, what's the word? Like he's trying to be
like,
hipster,
deep, and it's not working.
Yeah, deep and brooding, and like he's so hip. Like
Like it's just it. He's like, oh, I want to work on smaller games. I'm like, that's fine. You can work on smaller games. Don't lay off like 100 people to do it. Like it doesn't. I mean, to his credit, he is like, you know, being nice and helping them get jobs, and they're having a job fair or whatever for people to come in and interview their employees so they can go other places, which is awesome. But like, you had to think that in the office there were those 15 people, and they're like, hey, so we're gonna do this. Do you want in? Do you want in? Yeah? Okay. Get his name down on the list. Like, they had like a little secret club for like months before, and they were like, yeah, we're gonna do. And then he just like announces it, and everyone's like, "What the fuck, man?"
Could you imagine like what it feels like to be in like that team meeting, and then all of a sudden it's like, and you're fired, and you're fired, and you're fired.
You get fired, and you get fired. You get fired.
Nobody gets the job, like Oprah. You're fired.
Exactly.
I know, right? She's all like, everybody look under your chairs, and everybody takes out their chairs. It's like a quick slip saying that you're fired.
You get laid off. You get laid off. Everybody gets laid off.
Yeah.
Look under your chairs. There's a severance check.
That Oprah.
Oh my god.
No, No, but
I'm
seriously, I
reading.
can totally see that happening. Like, just those 15 people that they knew about it, like, 3 months before, and they're like, it's gonna happen. When is he gonna do it? I don't know. But then he did it, and they were just like, okay, see y'all later.
Oh gosh, that's
It's
You know what's
hilarious.
the slap in the face though? I'm reading this and this quote sticks out to me because it's like, really? If I worked for this company, I'd be looking like, really? It said, besides financial support, the staff will have access to the studio for a period of time to say their goodbyes and put together their portfolios.
Oh my god!
Right?
Damn.
I read that. I was like, okay, so they have like a week to get the fuck out? Like, what?
To make their portfolio too.
Exactly.
The nicest way, get your stuff and
Dang.
get out.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh my god.
It's so
Wow.
horrible.
That's terrible.
And you know what this means, though. No more Bioshock Infinite
Holy
DLC.
crap.
Ooh.
That's
I thought they
right.
were gonna put out that
Well,
last
no,
DLC
okay.
and then it'd be
See, but
that.
they've already finished that. So,
Oh.
like,
But
as soon as
after
they
that-
finish that shit, he's like, no, we're not gonna make anything else. And everyone's like, the fuck, man? We just put all this work in. Like,
holy crap. Oh my god.
He is being decent about it. I will say he's being decent about it, but still, man, that's just random.
That's wrong, bro. You can't, I don't know. Erica, how do you feel about it? Because Erica's like just sitting back. Like,
She's like,
All I gotta say is we gotta go live with this podcast because the viewers gotta see Char's reactions to
I
these
know.
rants. These rants are priceless. Like,
right?
she's
I
waving her
know.
arms around. You get
I
a
go
peace
crazy.
one, You
It's
get a or not
awesome.
peace one, You get a severance package. And
Yeah, I know. It's great.
hilarious. I've played the first BioShock and that was it. I can't really play the games because they make me dizzy, but I know they're great games. Everybody raves about them. I just hope the developers that were laid off get jobs soon. You know, that's my main concern is for them. You know, who knows? Maybe they'll start their own studio and get
They
back
might.
at them and compete against them. So
know.
you never know. So that's all I really have to say about it. I mean, I just kind of feel bad for the ones laid off.
Yeah, I know.
It's always a bad thing.
Well, my personal thoughts are this. I feel that we are in an industry that values cinematic games more than they value games of value. Because Bioshock Infinite did fairly well, did it not?
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
Yeah.
As far as I know.
And they're disbanding or downsizing. And to me, I feel like it kind of says a lot about the gaming industry right now. Not saying that cinematic games are bad. They're not bad by any means. If you want to put resources in your game to create your vision, by all means do that. But the fact of the matter is, not everybody is balling out of control like EA and Activision. Everybody can't do that. So it's like you kind of have to weigh, okay, what can you do to create your vision on a budget you can afford? And just based on some things that kind of people have been saying for a little while, like haven't they already kind of been in a little bit of predicament even before now? Like haven't they been having some kind of financial ups and downs in the past, or am I off base? Do y'all know anything about that?
I have not heard.
No clue.
I don't know, but what I can definitely say about that is that I hope that I hate to say it like this, but it's like that's just how I feel. I hope that this situation is a lesson to other developers that are trying too hard to keep up with the Joneses instead of making games based on fun factor and value while still at the same time catering to their particular audience. Because I look at, like, you know, gamers, like the market has grown exponentially. There's so many people that game now that didn't before, and I understand the reason why people are making these big bloated big budget games, because they're trying to draw people in. But it's like we're also getting to a point where we're kind of hitting a peak, and I think that we're getting back to a point that people are starting to revalue games that are like the games of old, that are games you could make effectively on a smaller budget, as seen by the recent surge in the popularity of indie games. Like there are indie games that I would say are so much better than some of these games that's coming out today. But I'm not gonna go into that. But best of luck to everybody who was let go at Irrational Games. I hope that they get back on their feet, because at the end of the day, this is people's lives. Their livelihoods are at stake. You know, a lot of these people have families to provide for, and just best of luck. So the next topic that we're going to talk about is the Metal Gear Solid 5 Ground Zeroes comparison. If you guys have not seen it, go ahead and check it out. Basically, it is a video comparing the PS4, the Xbox One, the Xbox 360, and the PlayStation 3 version of Metal Gear Solid 5. And my thoughts are that there is definitely a difference. The PlayStation 4 version is quite more detailed, better lighting. It just looks good overall. And the Xbox One version kind of looks like the PS3 and the Xbox 360 version. And kind of like how I was saying a little bit earlier today about the Xbox One having some struggles out the gate before DRM and all that kind of stuff. I think that the fact that Microsoft has been having some issues with the Xbox One kind of has something to do with the reason why we keep seeing all of these quote-unquote inferior ports of multi-platform games for the Xbox One. And it kind of comes into question, like, what are Xbox One owners paying for? And that's not to say that the Xbox One is bad. I'm pretty sure that the games coming out for it are going to be great. But how is it that there is so much more of a discrepancy between the Xbox One version and the PS4 version if on paper they're supposed to be so similar? But that's pretty much the only thing that I kind of have questions about concerning the comparison. As far as anything other than that, I don't really care, to be honest, because I'm not really a fan of Metal Gear. Like, I'm too impatient. I'm not really into stealth games. But I'm pretty sure it's going to be a great game regardless, and I'm going to go ahead and pass it on over to Shar. Shar, how do you feel about the comparison?
It's so pretty! I'm Sony all the way over here, so, like, when I saw it, I was just like, damn, Xbox One people getting screwed over here.
They're getting served right now.
They're right? In sales and in graphics. So, like, oh man, it's just so good all the way around because, like, the lighting is way better. Not FPS, like first person shooter, but like frames per second is way better, obviously with both consoles. But the added graphics driver that the PS4 has just makes it that much better. Right. And it's like you really see it in this video. Even on SD, like even in like a lower setting, watching the video, you can tell like when it changes.
Right.
So I don't know. I don't understand how they're really the same, but they're not the same unless maybe it's just the game or maybe it's has to do with the console itself. I'm not entirely sure.
I'm not really sure. Yeah.
Erica?
The Xbox One got exposed today.
Oh, damn.
Straight up. I mean, I'm not a graphics whore by any means. I usually don't see differences when they do comparisons like that, but there was a huge difference in this video, and I don't know. I don't know if it's just a performance thing. I don't know if it's the game itself, but you can tell when they show the PS3 version and then the PS4 version, there's a jump.
There's definitely.
With the 360s to the Xbox One, it's not much. The only thing I really noticed was there was like a sign on a gate or something, and that was clearer. But other than that, really not a big jump at all. So I was really surprised and impressed by the PS4 on this, definitely. It looks really good.
Right. And just to kind of segue off of what Erica was saying about the jump between the PS3 and the PS4 version, it's like, it really kind of makes it a little bit more clear that the Xbox One definitely came out before it was ready. Mm-hmm. And that's not really trying to quote unquote damage control for Xbox, but we all know that before the Xbox One came out, Microsoft had a completely different vision for the console, but they stripped everything out of it that everybody didn't like out, and now we are getting games in like not really sub HD. I guess 720, I guess, is still considered HD, even though it's not full HD or whatever you want to say. And then other games on the Xbox One that don't really match up to the PS4 versions as far as the frames per second. Like, that's a really big thing right now, resolution and frames per second. And I'm not really the type of person that kind of gets into that type of thing, because honestly, I don't care. Like, I'm a console gamer. Like, I'm used to 30 frames. Like, I don't care. But it really kind of, like I said, it just kind of brings to the forefront, like, the Xbox One is underbaked. They should have let them there. Like, I know that they didn't want to give Sony that much of a what do you call it? That much of a god dang it, head start. But it's like they should just put that thing back in the oven and just brought it back out when it was ready. Like, they should have. I mean, like, when you completely reduce your console from everything, and think about how long it takes for these console developers to make these consoles, because pretty much with every console developer, they start planning their console at least 2 years after their predecessor, the successor comes out. So that means that Microsoft was probably working on the Xbox One. When did the 360 come out? Was it 2006?
2005.
So they probably started working on the Xbox One in like maybe 07 at the earliest. So it's like, you take all of that R&D, try to make this console whatever you want it to be, okay? And then it finally, you finally talk about it, or when was the Xbox One reveal? Was it in April of last year? Or was it May?
I think it was May.
It was May. I think it was supposed to happen in April, but it happened in May. And so, it's like, they revealed it in April. It was supposed to have all these things. And, of course, it was the backlash. And then that's when they stripped everything out of it. I think it was like summer-ish or something like that. And then they brought it out in November, a week after the PlayStation 4. It's like, dude, you can't just strip everything out of your console and then expect it to perform accordingly. And like, not trying to sound like a Nintendo fangirl here, but it's like, I find it so funny how everybody is all like, oh, well, the Xbox One or the PS4 are next gen and the Wii U was last gen, but the Wii U has more 60 frames per second games, more 1080p games than the Xbox One right now. So it's like, what's really next gen? If you want to talk about graphics, you want to talk about frames per second. But I'm not talking about that. That's a topic for a whole nother day. But that's pretty much how I feel. Do you care, Em, to chime in about this? Because I know you don't really care about graphics.
No. I kind of do, because like, I was the one ranting. I was one of those people ranting back in the day that, oh, Xbox, it's gonna be alright, Xbox, because I used to be a Sony fan, and then I moved to the Xbox, and it's just, I lose. I mean, I lose everywhere I look to see them. And I was just looking at it. I just looked at it, and my tablet froze from it, but I was like, dang, like, the Xbox One graphics compared to the PS4, inferior. So I'm like, dang, man, like, I was just hoping like y'all would graphic them, but the truth is, people can agree or disagree that Xbox or Microsoft, they rushed that.
They did.
Only to compete. Yeah, they rushed that, because I remember it was supposed to have so much more, and they pushed this out. This is what happened. They get
that's what I'm saying, because before sorry, go ahead. I'm sorry.
I didn't say anything. I was listening to you.
I was saying, before the thing came out, on paper, the Xbox One and the PlayStation 4 were supposed to be like twins. They were supposed to be identical. They both use x86 architecture. I think the only difference between the two was supposed to be the RAM used. I think the RAM used in the Xbox One is supposed to be a little bit slower than the RAM used in the PlayStation 4. And then the
Right.
PlayStation 4 had something extra in it. I'm not tech savvy, so I can't tell y'all at the moment. But it's like on paper, they're supposed to be similar, but yet you see these games coming out, and there's like this drastic difference where you can't tell the difference between the Xbox One version and the freaking 360 and PS3 version. That's crazy.
Right.
But
The only difference was that Xbox One's text was clear, and that's so embarrassing.
yeah, like I mean that's pretty much. Yeah, that's sad. They rushed it. Like I wasn't convinced. I was like, man, yeah, whatever. They gonna pull it out, man. They got all this money, man. They gonna pull out the Xbox One. It's gonna be all right. But yeah, no, they rushed it.
It's showing now. It's really
Yeah.
showing. I just shut up when they be like, "What you say about the Xbox?" I'll be like, "Yeah." What time is it again? Yeah.
So the very last topic that we're going to talk about is the Order 1886 leaked footage. And for those of you guys who don't know what the Order 1886 is, which I'm weirded out if you don't because it's kind of hot right now, it is a steampunk styled game that is coming exclusively for the PlayStation 4 and based on the reveal trailer that they showed, was it at E3? Last year, I think it was E3, but I might be wrong. That you're going to be basically battling werewolves, from what I could tell. But I don't know exactly what's going on yet because there's still a whole lot of details that we do not know yet. But based off the footage that I've seen, I will say this: the Order looks amazing. The way that the game looks graphically it's fantastic. Like it's almost unreal. But as far as the gameplay, the leaked gameplay, as far as what I've seen, I hate to say this because I was pumped for this game, and I still think it's going to be a good game, but based on what I'm seeing, it doesn't look like anything new. I mean, like, it's cover, shoot, cover, shoot, cover, shoot, go to somebody, slit their throat, whatever. Like, I mean, it's like, I understand that with these types of games, there's not really a whole lot of variation you can do, especially a game that tries to be realistic looking, which this game definitely achieves. Like, you know, it's not really like so fictional to where you can just do crazy stuff. But I don't know. I guess I just have to see more because based off of what I've seen, it's not crazy. I mean, I'm sure it's gonna be great. I'm still gonna get it. I'm sure it's gonna be fun. But hopefully there's more to what it is that I've seen.
Mhm. What about you, Shar?
It looks like Uncharted with like QTEs here and there, but a more realistic version of like Assassin's Creed or something.
Right.
Like, and I could be down for that. If the story is good enough, I could be down because I enjoyed Uncharted because of the story. So if the story is like amazing and the gameplay integrates that enough,
Right.
then I might even get it, which I wouldn't usually do. But the fact that there's not much information on it already. But I'm sure they're gonna show it soon, I would assume.
Right. There's still not enough information, which is kind of, I guess, a thing.
It looks good though.
It looks good, yeah.
Yeah, I'm with you guys. I think I need to see some more, kind of see where the story's about. I think the enemies are probably gonna make this game, the werewolves and stuff like that. And also, I seen in that leaked video they were talking about the weapons and how they're made up weapons, but each little tool and everything that's in the weapon did actually exist back then. So it's like that's really cool. So I'm thinking the weapons are gonna be huge in this game, and the enemies. But as far as like the QTE events and stuff like that, some people are saying this is going to be like Rise, very pretty but boring. But I don't know. I mean, we'll have to wait and see. I need to see more. I think E3 is going to show more of this game. I know that's kind of far away, but at the very latest, I think we'll get like a lot of Order at E3. I'm thinking.
I hope so.
Yeah, me too. So
because I hope it's not just the same old stuff. Because like, I mean, don't get me wrong, like. Part of being excited for next gen is the graphics, but at the same time, like, y'all already know, like, I'm a gameplay girl because I have ADD. Like, if I'm not having fun playing your game, I'm gonna get bored and it's gonna just sit on my shelf until I feel like picking it up again.
Yeah.
And like, story is cool, but I'm so ADD, I don't even pay attention to the story. So really, for me, it really comes down to how effective the weapons are, how intuitive the controls feel, and how the enemies react to whatever it is that you're doing.
Right.
I won't know that until I actually play it, or I get to see more gameplay and kind of get a little bit more feel of how the game is going to play.
Especially because there's no multiplayer. So that really needs to grip us. I'm like you, Nia. Like, I'll start games, but if it doesn't keep my interest and make me want to come back, it'll just sit there, and I'll just play the multiplayer or whatever, you know. But this one's not gonna have multiplayer, so I don't know.
Yeah. How do you feel, Em?
I shook my head. Reading up on it, because I did not look at the trailer, but reading up on it wouldn't be my kind of game anyway.
Yeah, so you'll probably be passing on it anyway.
Right. Yeah, I don't like Knights too much. I only do it if it has certain touch to it, but like, I have to get more into that. Like, I have to learn the story more and learn to look at the trailer before I speak on it.
Well, I feel like with, like, you were saying werewolves or whatever, I haven't seen that one, but, like, I would assume just by the name and that it's werewolves, you're, like, a private order, kind of like, what's that movie? Like, kind of like Van Helsing, where he's going to kill, like, all these supernatural enemies of some kind, maybe?
That's a good connection.
Could be cool.
I mean, yeah, it's definitely got potential to be one of the best games coming out in recent memory, I guess. But I have to see more, and that's not knocking the game. It's just that I think that my hype died down just a little bit when I found out that it wasn't gonna have multiplayer. I'm not gonna lie, like, I'm not a multiplayer person, but based on the trailer that they showed at E3, where it was like 4 of the characters surrounded by like werewolves, I'm thinking it was gonna be like a Left 4 Dead type of thing that I could probably play with my man because he loves Left 4 Dead. So I mean, I'm still gonna like it. I'm still gonna enjoy it. I still prefer single player over multiplayer, but I just feel like based on what they showed, it would have been a really good concept for multiplayer. But I'm not gonna talk about that because I made a video about that and I got hated on so hard. But yeah. So that's pretty much how I feel about that. Does anybody want to chime in on anything before we go ahead and take our leave?
I think that sums it up pretty good.
Okay. That concludes the second episode of the SheAttack.com podcast. Thank you guys for tuning in. I am your host, Nia, founder and editor-in-chief of SheAttack.com. Shar.
Bye.
Erica.
See you guys. Take it easy.
Bye-bye.
Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Don't forget to follow us on Twitter. Go like us on Facebook. Follow our YouTube channel, SheAttack TV. Don't forget to follow our Twitch channel, which we will do something with at some point, I promise. Don't forget to check out our Google+. Don't forget to check out our Instagram, Pinterest, Tumblr, and we also have a Patreon account if you want to contribute monetary donations to us so that we can go to these big events like PAX and E3 hopefully one day and New York City Comic Con. And we will see you guys at a later date. Thanks for tuning in.
Bye.
Bye.